Hello, folks. This is David Zublik with the America Talks radio program with breaking news. Subsequent to the election of Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States, there has been a tremendous outbreak of violence across the United States in areas such as Philadelphia, Chicago, Seattle, Washington, and some other areas. One particular individual who was a Trump voter was beaten senseless by a mob. Chicago is where this took place. Shocking video showing a mob of young black men viciously beating an older white man because he voted for Donald Trump, dragging him through the streets as he hung out of the back of his car. The clip shows the thugs repeatedly screaming, "You voted Donald Trump," as they assault this guy from every angle while others steal his belongings. The mob screams, "You voted Trump, you're going to pay for that shit." Another woman shouts, "Beat his ass," while another man is heard laughing before remarking, "Don't vote Trump." A second video of the incident, which is dubbed with the F word Donald Trump song, a phrase now being chanted by protesters across the country, shows one of the attackers driving away in the man's vehicle while his hand is still stuck in the window and the car drags him down the street. This video is reminiscent of a lynching. Now, what is not being said and what is not being told in this is that there are two people behind these beatings and these violent protests across the country. One of them is a usual suspect, George Soros. George Soros was behind the Black Lives Matter movement, continues to be behind the Black Lives Matter movement. And it is expected that he and his financiers are going to be doing as much to stoke the flames of discontent among disenfranchised Hillary Clinton voters who feel that they were robbed of an election victory, and that Donald Trump's victory in the 2016 presidential election is due to racism. A lot of people find that hard to believe, that racism would be behind this, because Hillary Clinton is white, and most of the people that voted for Donald Trump were white. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people feel that because they didn't support Hillary Clinton, who was actually in effect continuing Barack Obama's policies, that they were in effect being racist against Barack Obama and his policies. So you got George Soros behind it, but what you don't also know is behind the scenes we're finding out that Barack Obama himself is behind the violence. Whereas on the one hand you have Obama the other day saying that we need to all come together and support Donald Trump now that he is the president-elect, that we come together as one nation of Americans, that we are not Republicans, that we are not Democrats, we are not left, we are not right, we are the American people. What you're actually in effect finding is that Barack Obama is stoking the flames of violence just as much as George Soros is. He is behind the scenes winking and nodding at these protests and at this violence. He is not coming out and speaking against this type of action. He may at some point be forced to do so grudgingly, but he will do so again with a wink and a nod, because he's actually in support of this racial discontent that has been, supported by George Soros, supported by Barack Obama, and supported by the hard left. So this is what you're seeing, folks. You're seeing violence, across the country. People being beaten, people being robbed, and somebody eventually is going to be killed. Somebody's going to die. Again, a lot of this is MoveOn.org, which is George Soros' organization. They were seen laying siege to Trump Tower in New York City, screaming "F Donald Trump," yelling "Not my president." chanting "Pussy grabs back" and burning the American flag. And these are mostly young people, millennials. These are the true deplorable individuals this country is having to deal with right now. Not the people that voted for law and order, not the people that supported Donald Trump. This is a surreal action on the part of these people. They are extremely violent. They are very dangerous in many cases. And we told you in our most recent radio show that this sort of thing was going to happen, that we were going to see violence on the part of the left if Donald Trump was elected president. We told you that if Hillary Clinton was elected, there would be a lot of disenfranchised and discontented Trump supporters, but they would not take to the streets. They would not become violent. They would not be beating people. They would not be looting and stealing and that sort of thing. But you're going to see this on the part of the left, because this is what the left is all about. But again, Barack Obama himself is behind a lot of this. He, is behind the scenes supporting it, and you're going to see a lot more of this leading up to Inauguration Day for Donald Trump. Also, I think that Donald Trump is really going to need a lot of serious protection by the Secret Service, because somebody is going to unfortunately try to hurt or kill him because of the fact that he was elected president. They can't get used to the fact that this individual, a supporter of law and order and a supporter of the United States Constitution, was elected president, and they're going to try to do him harm. And we must pray for Donald Trump that nothing like this occurs. That's the latest. George Soros, MoveOn.org organization behind this violence. Barack Obama also in support of it, and Hillary Clinton also in support of it as well. Her and the Clinton Foundation are also winking and nodding at the type of violence that's taking place across the country. We will keep you posted on all of this as further developments occur, and we'll, of course, be discussing this on our upcoming radio show this weekend. This is David Zublik with the America Talks radio program, and this has been breaking news about the violence taking place across the country.